Alright, today we're going to come out here and we're going to do some clearing. There's a fence about 5 feet, some places less. Back there, you can see the initial post right here. Pretty dense, thick stuff, and we're going to run all the way down this drive, just past the shed, probably about 10 or 15 feet past the building. I think it's kind of what the plan is. So pretty dense stuff, but we'll get to work on it. Have some before and after stuff. We're gonna be running that CID brush cutter. It's gonna do the work on it today. So, you know, some slopes, you know, tricky grades in here. Have to be mindful of that with the machine. That's a 650, 700 pound attachment. We're getting through, cutting through. Again, fence is about 8 feet back there in some spots, less in other spots, so get it as low to the ground as we can. Chip the stuff up as much as we can. And be mindful, a few spots in here that have some really tricky grade. Alright. We'll come back through here. And then easier mowing, but it is on a slope. We're mowing down that hill right there. Just clearing that little patch out. We've got to watch out for an old well, a couple of posts, and there's a pipe that runs down to where there used to be a tank. And then there's some big rocks in there, they said, so have to be mindful of that as well. So, gonna be putting a little mini skid steer to good work today. And I don't know, we'll see if I can get any action shots, if I can find a place to set up that's out of the way, out of harm's way here. So, ready to rock and roll, get us unloaded. 15 minutes worth of work here. Already cleared. Oh, I don't know, first 15 or 20 feet of fence. Now we're gonna chainsaw and cut this stuff up higher to get that fence cleared, but that's about as close as I can get this grade. Now that was the easy part. Now comes the fun part, if the grade gets really steep off the gravel here. So have to be mindful of being safe on the machine for sure, but pretty quick work with that first little bit. And a little bit of blood to show for it. Wear gloves. see already, been out here working for about an hour total elapsed time, and already trimmed this thing up all the way down here, getting to the fence line. Obviously got a lot of cleanup to do, not a very fine finish yet, but I wanted to be able to see what I was doing. I don't know if that picks up on camera, but this basically has a 3-foot drop off here. So I was just running, instead of running parallel, like I started up there running parallel to the fence line, I just started to come in straight and then chop and back drag. So I've chopped down a lot. I mean, a lot of stuff here, but kind of one of those situations where there's a lot of upper canopy to these vines and things, not managed from the other side of the fence. So I'm gonna see what I can do about that. I wish I could get a fuzz closer to the fence before the terrain got jacked up, but it is what it is. All right, so we did some chainsaw work in here, cut a bunch of the stuff that was too high to be able to get the cutter up to it, and pulled it down onto our side of the fence. I'm running a little low on diesel, so I probably did more manual labor in there than I needed to, but I want to be able to get this job done, hopefully on the tank of fuel that I've got, so I don't have to go get any. I already emptied my canister. This CID brush cutter eats through fuel a little faster. You can see those big old blades are taking some beating today. I think I ran into one rock, so, but still cutting good, but we'll grind the edge on there when we have to. So we're gonna see if we can mulch all the stuff we cut down with the chainsaw, so that it leaves a cleaner look here. What's left, I'll ask the customer what they want to do with it, and push it to a spot where it's good on their property. I still have the back little area to do this, just a field essentially. That should be pretty quick. All right, I got the infamous thrown track. First time, 60-something hours. So there's a little bit of give right there. I'm gonna see if I can't figure out a way to walk it back on by going in reverse. I don't know. I guess we'll see. All right, well, after a lot of brush work and some chainsawing, brush cutter, really clean this fence line up nice. Chainsawed out, give some good visual above the fence line. Really feel like you did a nice job, I think, for this customer, giving them, I mean, several feet. It was all the way up here. You like the force. Couldn't even get it down the shot, down the fence line shot. So yeah, I mean, we cleared from here all the way down past that shed, and then we cleared out back too, which was extremely sketchy actually. Threw a track in the process. My phone died while I was getting it on. I just had to get to work. But my tips would be, for the case TL100, ignore what the book says about taking that tension bolt behind the grease zerk off. It says to turn it half turn at a time to release grease, to release tension. Yeah, that's a bunch of bullshit. Just take it all the way out. Sorry, excuse my language. It's a bunch of BS. Just take it all the way out. But yeah, pretty tricky slope here. I know grade, it's hard to always see on camera. This is the spot that we mowed essentially. It was just essentially really long grass, but I don't know, it's hard to pick up on here, but I mean, it is extremely bumpy. In fact, that was sketchier than up in the front, believe it or not. But got it done, barely with enough fuel. So yeah, that's pretty much the summation of this video. Appreciate you guys watching. That's really mostly the CID brush cutter at work on the case TL100. You just gotta be sensitive and careful. It's a really heavy attachment. This kind of an embankment, you could mess up real bad real fast, but other than throwing a track, did great.